So when you start at a new job, you may have gotten some HR presentation where you had to sit down and watch a video like this.
Hi, I'm Bob Boberson with Grocery Company Incorporated, where we value the open communication that our associates have with management.
Oh, word?
That's right! Our open door policy lets you solve problems directly with management and is an important part of our company's ethos.
Where do you think he's going with this?
This policy is what keeps us a cut above the rest, which is why we warn our associates to be vigilant about people trying to unionize their store.
And there it is. Yeah, this is a union busting video.
Welcome back to LaborLab's 5-part series on anti-union persuaders. Unions often lose elections to represent workers not because workers don't want to be represented by unions, but because employers use a range of behind-the-scenes tactics that the employer rarely sees. These strategies are often carried out quietly in break rooms, private meetings, and one-on-one conversations. They create fear, confusion, and division among workers who are simply trying to exercise their right to unionize. In this episode, we'll peel back the curtain on those tactics, exposing how they work and why they so often tip the scales against union efforts.
For that first meeting specifically, it was not even described as a discussion that was going to even mention a union or a possible union. This was described as an all-team meeting, which is something that we did regularly, but obviously it didn't end up being that.
So let's be honest. Unions can be a good thing. Our company supports organized labor where it's needed, and we think it's absolutely critical that all employees have a voice in the workplace. But we didn't want to go into this without understanding what it meant, how it could affect our jobs, and how unions operate.
As it progressed, it began to feel more and more hostile.
Right now, a union would be a terrible thing for you and for No Evil Foods. Changes that are necessary for our business to be able to survive and thrive could be significantly more difficult with a union contract in place. So I ask you to think really hard about all that progress that we've made so far and what that indicates for the future of our team at No Evil Foods and your future as a part of this team.
When workers start organizing a union, many employers don't fight alone. They hire specialized law firms whose job it is to stop that union drive in its tracks. These firms often provide union avoidance training to managers and supervisors, teaching them a set of coordinated tactics designed to discourage union organizing.
Captive audience meeting is a meeting set up by the employer. It's mandatory. It's on work time, lasts half an hour to 2 hours, where workers are required to sit and listen to management campaign against the union.
They often use fear or, quote, misleading statistics about unions, divide and conquer strategies which create rifts between groups of workers by department, shift, or demographic to weaken unity.
Today, I need to discuss something that has important legal implications for our company and our future. So I want to be very clear about what I say. So I'm going to be reading this word for word, and I'm going to ask that you please hold questions for now.
No Evil Foods is an example of a, seemingly progressive company, with customers that had an image in the community that it was a good company with good values. And when workers went to organize, it ran, a model anti-union campaign.
Alongside this training, law firms guide employers in surveillance and intimidation, sometimes openly watching union activity, sometimes creating a perception of being watched.
I've been told that people are asking you to sign union authorization cards from the United Food and Commercial Workers Union, which is the UFCW, and that the union has said that it can protect you and give you a voice.
And in running misinformation campaigns, repeating false or exaggerated claims about dues, strikes, or job losses through meetings, flyers, and emails.
Nobody likes their livelihood threatened. These people have families and lives that they need to maintain. And it's an effective tool to scare people out of doing what could help them.
The way that they were threatening us, it was never really you're going to lose your jobs. You're going to lose your pay. It was always, you might lose your jobs. You might lose your pay. We don't know what's going to happen. And they never outright said it, but it was always implied. So it's like, they'll get you halfway there and then you just do the math in your head for the rest of it. The threats were always veiled.
Nothing that you have right now in terms of wages or benefits is set in stone. It can all change during this bargaining. You could get more than what you currently have. You could get the same thing that you currently have. You could get less than you currently have.
Underlying all of these tactics is third-party framing. The idea that the union is an outsider trying to come between workers and the management, when in reality the union is made up of workers themselves. Delay tactics are woven through the entire strategy, with employers stretching out election timelines, filing legal objections, and creating procedural hurdles to drain momentum while the other tactics take effect.
When you were a union buster, what were some of the tools that you used, or the tactics you used to keep unions off the property or to weaken the union that was on the property?
It basically was all on the offensive. It was all attacking the union as being some outsider, being some foreign outside interloper that really had no real concerns about the people. It was misdefining the union. It was taking the letters U and I out of union and making the union something other than that group of people who came together to be a union. It was attack, attack, attack.
Together, these methods form a powerful anti-union playbook, but they are not unstoppable. In our next episode, we'll break down Sections 7 and 8 of the National Labor Relations Act, the laws designed to protect you from these very tactics and ensure your right to organize is upheld. Thanks for watching.